All right, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and model the Trammel base. You guys have measured all of the hole positions. So I'm going to measure it based on the annotated drawing that came with it. So if your numbers are a little bit off from this, that's okay. Or if you were confused about some of them, you can use the numbers I have. So I've already modeled the base plate itself. We've got it at 0.480 inches thick. I'm modeling both the front and the back together. All right, and then I've got it 4.25 by 4.25. So let's get started on laying things out. First, I'm going to do the two cutouts, the little rectangle and the square. So we'll go ahead and start a sketch here on our top face. And we need a rectangle. I'm just going to use a center point rectangle because it doesn't really matter. The rectangles or the squares down here somewhere. And it is a 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 square. And it is grab my dimension tool, it is 0.406 from each edge down here in the corner. All right, so just getting these measurements off the drawing or off of what I've measured. That's a little harder to see. We'll put that down here. There we go. All right, so there's my square right there. Next one I have is a rectangle, but I'm going to use a corner rectangle this time because I know it's latched onto this side, and it's a cutout, and it is a 1/2 inch from it's a 1/2 inch wide. All right, and the bottom edge is 3.25 from the edge, and it's not all the way to the center. Okay, so it's a little bit shy of that. All right, but it is the length of it. I'm not too sure. Okay, but I know that it's 0.5 inches wide. The length of it, looking at this, it looks to be about 1.75. I'm just going to put that in there. All right, and then we know that it is 3.25 from the bottom edge to this line. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the line and click on the bottom edge of my block, and 3.25 according to my drawing. So there's my rectangle there. Again, I guessed on this dimension. You can measure it and see exactly how deep that goes, that cutout. But there's my those two shapes. Now, in order for this not to get too busy of a sketch, I'm going to go ahead and stop there in this sketch, and I'm going to go ahead and extrude remove those two, and we're going to go halfway, which should be 0.24. Whatever your thickness is of these plates, if you model them both together like I'm doing, go ahead and hit that dimension in there. But that's 0.480, so 0.24 should go halfway through, and we are removing them from there. So I get this shape that looks something like this. All right, next is for me to create a sketch on that same surface, same top face, and I am going to lay out a pattern. All right, so I'm going to use a rectangle, and I'm going to make it a construction rectangle, and I'm going to place it, whoops, that was the center, that's okay. We'll drag and drop it. All right, it is a 1 point, well, originally I thought it was 1.25. It's actually, I see a 1.5, and then I see a 0.375. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 1.5 minus 0.375. And I'm going to do the math in here, in Onshape, so that I don't have to do it separately, so I can know that that is. It's a 1 1/8. Good, 1.125. I can enter this one in now. They are squares. I know that. Okay. Now, where is that square at? Well, it's here somewhere. All right, just drag into position. It is 0.375 from the edges. So 0.375. Now, one of them shows you 0.375. On the bottom one, it shows you that it's 0.375 from the bottom edge. And then it shows you that it is 0.375 if you do the math from the side edge as well. So it's a little bit different than the 0.406 that we had before. All right, so something like that. So this is a 1 1/8 inch square that is 3/8 of an inch from each edge. All right, we're going to do the same thing down in the other corner here. And remember, these are construction rectangle. So 1.125, and then we'll put our dimensions from the edge here at 0.375, and from the bottom edge, 0.375. All right, so there's my structure. All right, these are all construction lines, right? So there's my structure for the holes, and now I'm going to go ahead and put circles at every one of these intersections. So that's why I made this, because I want to do a circles. I have a couple of circles that are the same. Okay, so I'm going to do those. I'm going to do these ones in the top corners. So this top corner is 0.230, and this top corner has a circle 0.230. Be careful for any of the automatic constraints it tries to put on here. So if you see it like lighting up with these, yeah, see how it lines up with these yellows? All right, be careful not to have that happen. All right, the next two ones, the two diagonal ones are 0.177. See, I just did that. Don't do that. That was a good example of what I was just talking about. Careful those automatic constraints. Sometimes I like to make it just a big circle for no reason, just to be able to type in there exactly the dimension I want. All right, now we haven't talked about patterns yet or mirroring or anything like that. We could use those tools here. If you've done that before, if you want to make that more efficient in your design process, feel free to do that. All right, and then these last ones are 0.191 here and 0.191 down there. So now I have all of my circles there. I have one that I haven't laid out yet. I didn't even make a spot for it because it's a little bit more complicated. This one right here in the middle. All right, but the cool part is see this line in the middle? I believe it is in the middle here. And then they tell us how far it is from the bottom edge. So we can go ahead and get that position. So I want to put a circle here. That circle is 0.20. Okay, and it is now it's locked on. It should not move side to side. It only moves vertically. And I do not want to do that, what it was just trying to get me to do. All right, so I know it's locked into the center of this, which is good. And I want to make the center of the circle from the bottom edge 2.875. All right, I believe that is my entire front face. Now I just need to extrude all of these holes. So I'll go ahead and hit extrude. I'll click on every single hole. I do not want to click necessarily. I think maybe I could click on the sketch. Nope, remove is what I want to do. Sketch. Oh yeah, so there you go. So the sketch did it, 0.24 as well, removing it. All right, is that doing what I want it to do? It is. It's got all 8, 9 of my holes. So I can click on the sketch because the lines that I made to lay out everything were construction lines. So it's not going to register that as a shape that you can extrude. It has to be object lines on there. So the circles are the only things that are getting extruded, and we're good to go. So there's our front face. For the back face, these smaller holes, all right, the 4 smaller holes in the corners and the 1 extra one are all the ones that have a shape behind them on the back side. So what I'm going to do here is I'm first going to flip this around, and we're going to start a sketch on the back surface. And I'm going to use the use and project because I need to know where those hexagons are located, all that good stuff. I don't know where they are, so I'm going to go ahead and I don't want to have to go back and lay them out because I know they're right behind these holes, actually centered on these ones. So I'm going to click on the holes after using that use and project tool, and what that's going to do is it's going to project all of those holes onto the back as a usable geometry. So now I can reference them. In other words, I'm going to take my polygons, hexagon actually, yeah, hexagon. I'm going to put them on these shapes. So there's that sketch. I am on the bottom face. I don't know why it just flipped around like that, but that's okay. I'm going to use I have a measurement of 0.422 from tip to tip. So tip to tip on the hexagons is going to be a circumscribed polygon. So my circumscribed polygon, all right, and it's going to be I'm going to hit this automatic constraint here. It's having me do that. I want the top edge to be horizontal. So there's 2 ways of doing it. One of them I can do right here. Once it lines up and gives me that yellow, that the edge is lined up horizontally, I can click that. It is 6 sides and it's 0.422. Okay, so that's going to lock it in. Another way you can do it is if I drop it down here, say 6.422, and it's not totally locked in, I can go horizontal and I can click on the top edge. I can click a horizontal constraint. That's on your toolbar here. Horizontal constraint. And I can click on the top edge and make it horizontal. That's 2 different ways to kind of drag and drop it in there. I like doing any of the automatic ones I can because those help. So I'm going to get circumscribed polygon again. I'm going to make that point out to the edge, 6.422. Oh, that's the one that doesn't have one. Excuse me. Go back. That one's a different shape. These 2 down here are my hexagons. 6.422. And last one. There we go. All right. And then behind that hole, I have a 0.375, so an 1/8 of an inch circle behind this circle down here. 0.375. There's that circle. All right. And I am done with that as well. Now, when I go to do the sketch, if I click on the sketch and click remove, all right, it's not going to click the inside part, so I need to go through and make sure I click the inside part of my circles. Okay, so that I'm removing the entire thing, including the projected geometry piece as well. And I want to go halfway down, so 0.24, and I should see all my circles popping through from front to back, and we're good to go. All right, so there you go. That's how I would go ahead and model that. Let's go to our isometric view. There is our base plate, all good to go. You guys are doing a drawing of this. I'm not going to go through doing that, but you have most of the measurements on here already. You can go ahead and make that drawing.